Like new, like this
Look,
new one that I'm putting on. I'm not using the usual.
Just lay out a proposition in favor of the view
Do
that
you really
we are
want me to, bro? Or do you really
still
want me
a
to?
fixer.
Do you really want me to, bro? And I just explain why I have this prompt up.
Just lay out an argument.
Okay, bro. Oh no, I'll just say. P, bro. Are you gonna attack the argument, or do you just want me to lay out one?
Obviously, I'm going to attack the argument. That's how you
Bro,
investigate
why?
hypothesis.
Why? Bro, I'd be LARPing. I don't know anything about this. Okay, fine. I'll just
Kuro,
make
play
one.
Roblox with me.
I'm about to go
Okay.
to sleep.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
yeah. Okay. P1, if an agent exists, then the ability will activate. P2, an agent exists, therefore the ability active. Oh, sorry. Whoa. If an agent exists, the ability will activate. An agent exists, therefore the ability will activate. That's gonna lead to conclusion 1. Then the next set of premises.
I guess we can investigate this first.
If the agent attacks, then they're converted to 0 by GER. The agent attacks, they are converted to 0 by GER. That's conclusion 2.
Well,
The inference rules. It's modus ponens.
well, look,
Modus ponens.
Look, I guess the first question is it the case that the necessary condition for the activation of the ability seems to be the existence of an agent, or is the case that it's the agent's capacity or want, or at least the actualization of attacking this
This nigga's just talking. I think it's just talking. You're just talking.
Look, all the question was,
I have to explain why you're doing.
Look, the question was, is it the case that that the ability just requires the existence of an agent, or it requires the agent actually doing an attack?
You could say that. Yeah, it'd be more the agent has to do an attack, or let's just say that. Let's just say that we can replace the word agent with attacker. I think that would be more. That'd follow me.
Number one, you literally can't replace the agent with attack there, because the subject, or the argument requires for a subject.
No, attacker, not attack.
Oh, okay, for attacker.
No, attacker.
I can say replace agent with the attacker there. So premise 1 is now, if an attacker attempts to harm this character, is the case that the ability activates. Premise 2, my character is going to try to harm the character. Conclusion, the ability activates, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so like it just seems the argument fails on another aspect then. Is it the case that...
which one?
Is it the case that the ability activates indiscriminately?
What do you mean by that?
Is it the case that it activates no matter upon the intention? So if it's the case that I throw a punch, but the intention of the punch isn't to attack or harm you, will the ability activate?
No. Well, I mean, then yeah, I think it could be the case. I don't think it matters either way.
Okay, so it doesn't matter based upon the intention. So what makes somebody an attacker then?
Makes somebody an attacker. A person. I guess you could just say, if an agent is trying to win the battle or throw an attack that I guess you could say that throw an attack or some type of output that would either damage. Yeah, I guess you could say damage, affect, significantly, or like cause their side to win for the opponent.
Okay, so just to be clear, is it the case that there are two necessary conditions in which one of them seems to be that it is the doing from an agent or of an agent, and then the second one being it causes or has some intent to win or harm the other character?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what if I just say,
it's not. Well, okay, wait, hold on. I don't know if this backtracking, if I'm catching on before you switch points, but it's not based off the intent, but rather what's going to happen.
Okay, so based upon, so even if there's nothing, okay, so what if I just say, well, let's just say a rock, right? A rock is blown by the wind, and then that rock starts a chain reaction, in which causes my character to use all of his force and then punch, right? And well, that doesn't seem to be something which is derived from the agent, but it seems to be derived from something else or something that isn't an agent.
No, wait, okay, no. I disagree with that because I think that the external conditions are going to be instrumental upon the agent, but the actual attack's going to be intrinsic upon the agent.
Okay, but you just said that it was something that was just done from an agent. The agent doesn't do this action. It's something which is forced upon him.
I literally just explained why. What?
Yeah, but you just said that it's something in which you just said in which it's something which the agent does. Well,
Yeah,
that
no,
wasn't
I'm
what you
saying
said earlier.
the action itself would be intrinsic upon the agent.
Okay, so just to be clear, all you're saying is that the action is something true of the agent there.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem is what you said earlier. It's not what you're just saying now, but before you said the agent seems to be the beginning of the causal reaction or causal chain.
I, I don't think it has to be. Well, no, I actually disagree with that. I think it doesn't entail like a beginning, but it definitely it can only entail like, well,
Okay,
not only,
so
but
okay, so
it
the new
mainly
claim.
entails like if it ends from
Okay,
it,
so the new claim
or
here is that as long
if
as
it
the
starts
agent.
or ends from it, pretty
Okay,
much.
so the new claim is that as long as the agent is a part of the causal reaction, it seems to be something that will be reverted to zero.
Yeah, because it's intrinsic to the agent, not instrumental. Or yeah, it's intrinsic towards the agent and not the other.
Well,
Like
look, do you take a
I guess
P
you could say
zombie?
causal events.
Well, look, do you take a P zombie to be an agent?
Not exactly.
Okay, so what if I just
Well,
like introduced a
that
P agent
depends on
thing?
your definition of agent.
Well, it just seems like we're going into your semantics. So, what do you define agent as?
I guess an entity that can be rationalized. So yeah.
Wait, is it the case that the entity must have the capacity to be rationalized, or the entity must have the capacity to rationalize?
No, it must be able to be rationalized.
Okay, so everything is an agent then.
Yeah.
Oh, that seems to be a weird definition. That's what not what most people think of. Um, that that
Unless I got taught the wrong definition. But
that doesn't even seem like the
yeah.
definition that you're going into, because you just said that the problem with the other example about like a rock starting some chain reacting of the wind, the problem there wasn't that the rock is an agent, but
Thank you for the roses. My fault.
the problem wasn't that the rock was an agent, but the problem was that the agent, which was the cognitive entity, was a part of the
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. I
yeah.
wasn't
So
paying attention.
the problem there, when I like laid out the example about the rock starting the causal chain, the problem wasn't that the rock was an agent. The problem was that the agent, which was the person with the cognitive ability, was a part of the causal chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't seem to be something which follows your definition, because if it followed your definition, the
Well,
problem.
okay. Well, I could just say that. Okay, we've been using agent, but I don't know. I think we both forgot, but I think we both agreed upon that instead of just using an agent, we would just be using an attacker.
Well, yeah, the entire problem was that what you defined attacker as. We defined it.
Are you asking me to explain, or
Yeah,
are you asking what I define?
the way you defined it earlier seemed to say that it had to be an agent, but what's an attacker under your definition? Maybe I butchered.
Attacker? Well, an attacker would just be anything that can cause or, well, yeah, anything that can cause or will cause a harm or a win towards opposing side, I guess you could say.
I guess so to just I guess to not keep like the idiosyncratics of the definition, or like the absurdity. We're gonna remove
Can
that.
you what's it called, like semantically reduce that? What do you mean by that?
Idiocratic.
Yeah.
From my understanding of the word, it just means to it just means something in which is like has some like weird or arbitrary meaning.
Arbitrary? Wait, okay, why?
Weird or arbitrary.
Do you mean weird or arbitrary? Because
Yeah, it's just
if
weird,
I'm
or
correct, I
it's
don't.
just part of the definition. And this definition is just a disjunction. But
Is it like, wait? Is it weird or arbitrary, or
yes, it's
weird and
if you're
arbitrary?
talking about this, it's specifically weird or absurd, because the problem when you say can there, can refers to anything that has the capacity to, when it comes to some specific principles or like laws of logic or whatever.
Yeah, no,
So I
no,
give that
I think
definition.
it. Yeah, no, I think that I don't think that's weird, but it's pretty much saying that it's not saying that anything will be an attacker, but anything that can be an get goes under some type of causal action or event that will end up attacking or causing one, that would be an attacker. So it's pretty much saying that anything anything that can posit this, like, I guess you could say, causal chain, or
Yeah, anything can do
yeah.
that. Anything has the capacity to do that. So you have the capacity to do it. I have the
Yeah,
capacity to do it. We all do.
yeah,
That seems to
pretty
say that
much.
we're all
Yeah,
attackers.
yeah, or well, no, no, no. It would be more that we, like, I guess you could say, like, under, like, the motto, or yeah, the motto that I'm, like, placing there. It's the case that it's a possibility, or yeah, it's a possibility that we're all attackers. But I think the way that you're looking over it is that there's a high probability that we're all
Well, look, the
attackers. But
probability doesn't matter then when we're talking about can, because can only talks about possibility and not probability. Um,
yeah, that's literally what I just said.
but if you if you're saying that anything that can attack you or harm you, that talks about a specific domain of not actualized things, but things in which yet to be actualized.
Yeah, I guess you could
Okay,
say.
then that doesn't talk about that specifically talks or limits everything to being an attacker then. Because it
It
doesn't
leads to what?
at least to everything being an attacker.
Yeah, I mean, that can be the case, but it's pretty much saying, it's not saying that everything, because I'm a certain way. I don't know if you'd agree to this, but I would say that being an attacker would be a state. Would you not agree?
Yeah, being an attacker is a state in which everything is a part of, anything logically possible is a part of.
Yeah. So
Definition.
what I'm saying is that they're not always going to be in that state, but they could be, like, like, in states outside of that.
Yeah, that I mean the first part of your definition implies that.
Yeah, I was just sorry. I was just, like, articulating it a little bit better.
I guess so. Removing the first part of your definition, the second part of the definition um, talks about things that are in such a state of harming or doing it.
Yeah.
I guess so. What if I just reverse it then?
What
Or
do you mean?
what if I just like reverse the chain? So I say, well, this thing before it's even within, or before such a thing even occurs, the person is harmed. So what if I just talk about like an immeasurable speed then?
You said what?
Yeah. What if I just talk about the entity as if they have a measurable speed? I say,
Immeasurable speed.
yeah. So something happens before the agent even does anything. So I say,
Wait. Okay. Wait.
agent A is harmed before agent X even does anything.
Yeah. No. I would say that. I think that would still follow, because I don't think it matters, like, what way. I don't think it matters, like, exactly what way it's, like, introduced, or like, I guess you could say, articulated. Like, within the semantics, I think it would still follow.
Well, like if the agent there has yet to even achieve such a state, an attacker is a state. It must be the case that it must be the case that the person is either in such a state before they're able to begin to begin the temporal sequence of achieving such a state, or it's the case that they're never in such a state in such a meaningful way that the person is attacked, but there's no attacker.
Uh, okay, wait. What I feel like I would need to articulate on, there, at least, would be like, I feel like the ability, or yeah, the ability would work. I think the damage there would be reverted to zero, because it's based off the causal event, or, like, the reality which in the causal event, like, takes place in, and not. So I think that would also follow under, like, what is it called, the attacker. Like, it would still count, because when we're referring to the attacker, we're not referring to some type of, like, being, or yeah, not we're not referring to some type of being, but we're just referring to anything, or yeah, pretty much anything
Yeah,
that
no,
can.
we're referring to anything with an entity or being. So when we say that somebody or
No, no,
something,
no, I don't think it has that. That's what I just said. The opposite. I don't think it has to be in reference towards anything with it. Like, well, there has to be an entity or a being. I mean, well, if we explain that an agent's just going to be everything, then yeah, that would follow. But if we're not going under like those semantics, then it wouldn't follow.
wait, attacker is a predicate, so it must refer to something. It makes ontological commitment.
No, no, no. I'm not saying it. Okay, wait. Do you think, like, an entity is, like, referring to something, or, like, anything that
Entity just
exists?
refers to anything which exists.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, wait. I don't see how. Wait, would you say damage would be an entity, or
Damage is an entity.
would you say it is?
No, because it doesn't exist.
You don't think damage exists?
No, it's just like some semantic predicate in which we use to say, or it exists purely
Do you not think
as a
semantics
predicate.
exists?
No, they're mind dependent things.
They're mind dependent.
Yeah,
Oh wait, are you under the thing that everything exists must be concrete, or
everything which exists must have correspondence to reality.
wait, what do you say as reality?
Just a set of things in which exist. So it must have correspondence to that set in which exist.
Say that again. My fault. I was lagging.
Yeah, it must have some correspondence to the set of things in which exist, in which it fails, or mind-dependent things fail to do that, or
Wait, why?
especially things like semantics because they fail to be propositional.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I would understand that, but wait, okay. Why? Oh, fuck, damn. No, wait, you just caught me right there because I just explained how the ability would work over the causal event and the reality that existed.
Yeah, one mind-dependent things are identical to conceptual things. So it's the case that they don't exist in the conceptual realm; they only exist within the agent's scope of things. And it's
Wait, then wait. I think yeah, I think it can still follow because I don't see why he wouldn't be able to, even though they don't concretely exist. Or yeah, I guess you could say that. Wait, is that a blunder or
wait, is what a blunder?
me saying that just because they don't inherently concretely exist? Is
Well,
that a blunder?
yeah, because then you'd have to be committing to the fact that there are such things in which don't exist. I mean, there are such things in which don't exist and which qualify as an attacker, and then your definitions just seems to fail to talk about things inside of the
Yeah,
set
no.
of objective. I mean, of reality. And then you can say that things within like the epistemic domain, like contradictions, exist such that as they can qualify as an attacker, and that seems to say something about contradictions, in which we fail to do because they're logical.
Wait, okay, wait. Just to be clear, what do you think this could follow, or do you think this argument could follow if I let's say we presented an external variable? Yeah, we could just say an external or instrumental variable that's not intrinsic to the argument, but like let's say he has a measurable speed. Then what?
Like even if he has a measurable speed, that doesn't really get rid of like the problem there, because the entire problem is what happens if attack. I mean, the damage preconceives the notion of the attacker or the state of the entity being an attacker.
So what? Say that one more time.
Yeah. So what if the damage happens before the state is achieved by the entity? And what?
Wait, okay, but I think unless you could catch, I don't know, you could just say Agent A off guard with Agent B, then I don't think it'd be the case that the damage would ever be reached because they're following under like a similar framework of
Well, look,
movement. I
we're not
guess you could
talking
say.
about whether or not this thing will achieve. We're not talking about, we're not making ontological commitments there. We're talking about it just hypothetically.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Um, man, I don't know what else to say. I don't know much about this character. What point were we just on again? We were just talking about. Okay,
I have to end this off
if
though. I have to go.
what you said,
I
what?
have to go because I have school in like an hour and
Can we
30.
finish it? Can we finish this later though?
Yeah, sure. You know, Carter. You know, get up
Yeah, that's
here.
the go.
Kuro, what's up,
Yeah,
buddy?
what's up,
Wait,
man?
but Kuro, did I at least do decent?
Oh, I don't know.
That's
I was
a
you probably did better than the Carter kid did against me.
Oh my
Wait, you said
god.
Akari? You said Akari?
No, Carter.
Oh,
I don't know
Carter.
who Carter is, but you did better than the Carter
He's
kid did.
talk.
Because you know when I debated Carter, you know, he got blown the fuck out very badly.
Your top 5 4 months ago moments.
You know,
Holy.
the guy tried to mic up against me in that one server and he got blown the fuck out like very poorly.